Let's rock and roll, man. Finally able to wear this after 5 weeks of losing. But damn, the Jets look pretty good.
Yeah, they just look good. Let's see. Welcome back, guys. Level Up Podcast.
Level up, level up, level up.
Yeah, we've just been holding it down as football fans, New York football fans. It's been rough a little bit.
Yeah, October is probably one of the best times for sports, right?
Yeah.
We got basketball.
Everything.
We got football.
It's the best.
We have a little bit of baseball if we're lucky.
Yep. Hockey just started.
Mm-hmm. But damn, what a disappointment with the Yankees, right?
I know. Obviously everybody knows we're Mets fans. Well, if you don't, we're Mets fans. And I'm a Mets fan that I don't really hate on the Yankees too much. I think they have a great team. But yeah, it's disappointing. My wife is a Yankees fan. She was really rooting for them.
Yeah.
And it hurts, but for them to see your team do so well, especially when there's such high expectation, right? Like for the Mets, totally different story because there wasn't that much expectation. We were just hoping that they would get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
For the Yankees, though, it was kind of like they acquired all these players: Juan Soto, Jazz Chisholm. This was supposed to be like their year. Obviously the Dodgers had the acquisitions of their own with Yamamoto and Ohtani and all that. So this was kind of like the World Series that most people wanted to see. Very highly anticipated World Series.
Yeah.
I think within the last 5 years, I think this one had the highest rating or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, kudos to the Dodgers. They seem like they're going to be a problem for the next couple of years.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
And for the Yankees' perspective, they came gun blazing in the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They were definitely the number one team in a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess towards the mid-season, they started to kind of level down a little bit.
Yeah.
But you saw, especially in the playoffs, their level of who they can become, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to Giancarlo Stanton. He kind of was their leader.
He was the MVP for them, in my opinion.
A lot of people thought it was supposed to be Aaron Judge, but he kind of was cold.
Yeah.
Throughout many of the series. But you got to give kudos to the Dodgers, right?
Exactly. Yeah. They deserved it, man.
Yeah.
Their team is just. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of had an idea that it was going to kind of go that route with the series with the Mets, because with the Mets going against Milwaukee, even with the Padres, with the Dodgers, that level of intensity was there. So each game had that expectations of win or it's going to have some consequences.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the Yankees, they didn't have that till the World Series. The first game with Garrett Cole, that was a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
But the Dodgers just took it from them, and the Yankees weren't able to take it. Weren't able to kind of push it.
Yeah, that was a huge turning point in the series because the Yankees could have gotten a huge advantage by winning away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and they would have had 3 games at home, in a row. That setup. In other sports, it's usually not like that. It might be 2, right? 2-2, 1-1-1 if it's a game of if it's a 7-game series. But having 3 in the middle like that, if you're able to get 1 away game and then go back home and then have 3 in a row, that would have been huge. But they couldn't. It didn't happen that way for them. We'll see what happens next year. Juan Soto is a free agent. I saw in the post-game interview they already asked about the Mets specifically about him acquiring him. I think that would be is a huge possibility. I will say too that I think Alonso, he might be high on the Yankees priority list to acquire. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could totally see that happening. Like
a DH kind of thing?
Something like that, yeah.
Because I like Rizzo.
Yeah, but I understand. Yeah, Rizzo's good, but he didn't really perform well in the postseason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean in terms of his bat. But I mean, Alonso's been struggling all regular season.
Yeah.
Picked it up in the postseason. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting, right?
Yeah.
I think Soto is going to be expecting somewhat similar to Ohtani. numbers. We'll see if he gets it.
Yeah.
He well deserves it.
Yeah.
You know, so
he's young, man. He's 26.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But another sport that just started is the basketball. Only a couple games in, but a lot of teams that we thought were going to be good are dominating.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavs, I think they're still undefeated. I think they're playing the Orlando right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
that game's on ESPN. Yeah, it's like highly anticipated.
yeah,
two very young teams. Yeah.
Yeah. Heartbreaking injury for Banchero. I think he had an oblique tear or something, but he's out for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
disappointing for them because Orlando Magic was kind of like that one team that was under the radar.
Yeah.
But you know, hopefully he comes back and recovers well. The Knicks are looking so right now, right? They have high expectations. A lot of people think they're going to be the 2 seed. They've played really good teams in the beginning of the season, but hopefully they can gel before the mid-season tournament or towards the end. They get that chemistry, but when they work together, like when the pieces fit, they're like dynamic.
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns, I've been a big fan of his play. Even with the Timberwolves, so when seeing him in the Knicks uniform and playing, it's kind of surreal.
Yeah, I think he's the type of player to like he like in the past, you know what I mean? He came a long way. His development, like he's not the same player that he was when he came into the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people criticized him when he first came into the league because like saying he was soft and this and that. But his game totally changed. Like his 3-point shot has developed. His regular free jump shot has developed.
Yeah.
And him being aggressive in the paint has also developed. His finesse is so much better in the paint.
Yeah, I think.
And like him being in New York, he can come into Madison Square Garden and level up and raise the intensity every night. It won't be like I don't know, boom bust. You know what I mean? I think he's always going to bring the energy.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there was a lot of speculation about him coming to the Knicks, but I guess the question was always, what is the capital? What are the Knicks going to give?
Yeah.
And a lot of people wanted DiVincenzo to stay.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get a player like a player with that caliber, you're going to have to give. Julius Randle and DiVincenzo playing for the Timberwolves, it's pretty interesting, and I think they're doing pretty well.
They're 2-2 right now.
But I think the Knicks had to make that trade.
Yeah.
One of the big things that we've seen in the last couple years is the importance of a 7-foot baller. You know what I mean? Because, like, for example, the Boston Celtics, right? They had Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and what's it?
Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward or whatever. They had pieces, right?
They had a lot of different.
It worked, but it didn't get them to that next level. When Kristaps Porzingis came in, it changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Even with Jokic, right?
Yeah.
That 7-footer that kind of changes the way. I think Jalen Brunson can still be that number one, but Karl Anthony Towns changes like the whole offensive mentality, which gives options for OG Anunoby or Bridges, right?
Yeah.
Which is still kind of transitioning to kind of his fit in the role in the Knicks, but it's super exciting.
Yeah.
It's super exciting to watch. They have this 5-year limit, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully this is year 1 of the 5. So I'm hoping that we can do a little bit better than last year, but it's exciting. Very exciting.
It's really cool to see your team get obviously good players and it's very early in the season, so you're gonna see how they develop and how they play together, especially if you keep watching consistently throughout the season. But yeah, it's gonna be good to see how these teams gel together. There's a lot of teams out there who have new acquisitions, and it's cool to see.
But talking about vengeance, Ben Simmons, man, I think he's gonna come back. I hope so, man. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean he's played a couple minutes already in a few games, but I don't know. As a Brooklyn Nets fan, I kind of get the feeling that he doesn't really want to be there for the Nets right now. I mean, maybe not there for the Nets, but like he wants to play basketball, but maybe not for the Nets. You know what I mean?
I think it's interesting that they're putting him in the center spot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's like a different kind of thing because he's more facilitating a little bit, which is cool because I think that was when it was Ben Simmons. When it was his prime, that was his main thing.
Right.
Being super aggressive, passing the ball, feeding the ball, getting those layups, short shots. I'm rooting for him. You know, like you said, with the Knicks, with the Brooklyn team right now. You know, I think they looked better when they had like an Allen. You know, like a big
Jared Allen.
But Claxton is good. They got some good pieces.
They have some nice pieces, but they're in a mode that's different from the Knicks right now. We talked kind of a little bit about like similar, like different situations between the Giants and the Jets. I feel like the Nets and the Knicks are kind of maybe a little bit similar. The Knicks, they kind of know who they have, right? Like they know what they're getting with all their players and stuff like that. The Nets, for the most part, you know, they're still trying to figure out what to do with Cam Johnson. You know what I mean? If he can still be a starter for them. I think he can be, but like they also need to find out about their depth chart. Jalen Wilson is a guy they signed last year. Noah Clowney, I think they have high expectations for. He was a rookie last year, I think. But yeah, they have a lot of figuring out to do in soul searching.
I do think that they have a lot of good players, right? They don't have the superstar, right?
No, they don't have the superstar.
Can Cam Thomas be that caliber? I think they can. It's just he needs to develop.
Yeah, exactly. And like when you try to get to that level, and like you know you see players kind of emerge into that. Like who do we see? Jamal Murray. He kind of became that player. Anthony Edwards with Minnesota. He's kind of becoming that player. They kind of like separate themselves by being consistent and having a lot of great performances back to back to back. You know what I mean? It can't just be like 30-point night here and then like 15 here. You know. So we'll see. You know, there's time. You know,
it's only 5 games in, so you know our expectations are high at the moment. But in the next 20 games, it'll put us back to reality, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is how it goes. But we're here for the whole season. We're ride or die fans.
We are ride or die to the day we die.
So you know.
But thank you guys. We're gonna have another video about football, or do you just want to put it all in one?
We'll have another video about football. We'll post that one soon. But like we'll keep updating the Knicks and the Nets.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I have high hopes for both teams. We'll see, because do the Nets have draft capital?
They do.
Okay,
they do have draft capital. Yeah,
that's good. That's good. That's the one thing. Because that's like gold.
Yeah. But it depends on what they want to do this season, you know what I mean? If they just want to focus on developing the players and keeping the draft assets and trusting the process, you know what I mean? That's one route to go.
And they changed the NBA changed their trading system, so you're not gonna ever have the Kevin Durant trades or the James Harden trades where they're trading like 6 first-round picks.
Right.
You know, it's not gonna be like that anymore. Okay. So hopefully they can get some solid, veteran leadership. Yeah. I do think Dennis Schroeder is a good acquisition.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like he's very exciting, and like he's shown that he can be more than a role player. You know, which is what he's been kind of limited to in the past teams that he's been on. But there's room to be excited about. Okay. You know,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
but thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Please give us a like or subscribe, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.